if you have two hooks. If you single hook, then yeah, but it still looks like a filler of a squid. And that's also the reason why a lot of the Japanese, when they jig, they use two hooks. Because jigs are usually actually meant to mimic a squid, really a squid. So, okay, so for jigging, two types, double solid ring and a single solid ring. And for casting, you can see it's a lot smaller. And the reason why is because you don't need an assist hook. So you can actually use a small swivel and just attach a squid jigging to it.
So Paul, if you use a swivel that you're using on a stick bait, could you use the jigging swivel? Or
there's nothing wrong with using a jigging or a casting swivel. There's really nothing wrong. But it's gonna look odd.
But if you do it with an assist hook on a stick bait?
Yes, if you do it on a assist hook on a stick bait, then yes, maybe you want to go with a bigger ring. Definitely. Because if you were to do this, then the ring itself is going to be too small for you to even look through the assist hook. So this is really only meant for casting level, without an assist hook. Nothing. I know this is stupid, but I have a lot of questions that people ask me. How do you put on the split ring to the field? A lot of guys, they hold on to it and then they just push that. That's wrong. It's gonna open up the split ring. All you really need is just enough for you to go into the swivel. That's all. Do not open up the split ring because it's gonna stay open. And which direction should you put on the split ring? For the swivel?
Another one.
I'm gonna, because it's not easy to see, so I'm gonna show everyone. You can see that it's tapered down. You see it's like a cone shape? That's how it's supposed to be. So the leader's gonna go here. The split ring's gonna go here. Why? Because the ball bearing is made in such a way it spins from the bottom. So
this is the best ball bearing the market has.
Yeah, I mean I've never used any swivel better than the owners. So you can see it's tapered down like a cone shape.
Is that the instruction manual?
Yeah.
Does it say that on the package?
No, Mr. Owner told them.
And guys, one more thing on the jig. I noticed something that I've been using in the past 2-3 years. I really strong you guys to use a skirt. Use a skirt. It doesn't have to be long for if you're using like 300-400 gram jig, but they do comes in small. Any kind of skirt, use a skirt. Cover up that hook with a skirt. I mean, my setup is still in North Carolina. I was Raymond. But I would cover that with a skirt. It does entice the bite, trust me.
Like I said, all jigs are actually made
everything I put in is with a skirt. Every single jig, every single hook that I jig have a skirt. I cover this whole area here.
Just for tuna or all fish?
For tuna and every single
Is there a specific color you like to use?
Huh?
Is there a specific color you like to use?
Glow in the dark. No, it depends on the jig you're using, honestly. I mean, glow in the dark will work with any kind. But if you're going, sardine, I would like to use blue black. This kind of, you need a little bit of contrast on the skirt, not solid blue or solid. A lot of people like the hollow. I'm not a big fan of the hollow. I'd rather use a hollow lure jig and use something a bit flashy to entice. So
the F1s, right?
Yeah, but they do come smaller. If you tend to cast with it, don't use it.
Yeah.
I mean, hang up, and as well, it's not gonna give you the distance you want if you're casting.
It's gonna go against the wind.
If you're dropping, use it.
Alright, so back to split rings and swivels. Yeah, we always take care of this. Yeah, so again, do not force open the split ring. Just have enough for you to go over the solid ring.
And it's important to have the right
Split ring pliers actually.
You need to have this is like you can buy a split ring for $20, it will last you for life. You just have to, oil it or take care of it. And the split rings need to be used only for split rings.
Please do not remove hooks. Yes.
I have one of these pliers that is not in the market. I had it for 9 years. 9 years. I never broke the tip. Those used to have, And on the last trip to New Caledonia, I had it over here. I turned my back. The guy next to me, he used it, and he broke the tip from me. 9 years I had it.
You still have the spares though, right? Of the...
He paid one way or another.
Thanks.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of guys say, "Oh, I don't do that because we are only going to roughen the edges of the solid ring." What I do is I just open up a little bit at a time and make sure it goes through the solid ring of the swivel. So there you have it. It's easy. The tapered end, the bottom, always with the split ring, the top to your leader.
This is how quick and how easy it is when you have the right things to have it. And look how easy you can change. You're done. It's attached already.
Yeah.
You're ready to go. You just have, like I said, you can have, you don't have to spend the money to have the right tool, but make sure you have the right tools in your hands for the right job. You can buy these things as well from internet anywhere in the world these days.
Even Home Depot.
Anyway, I think we're done.
Hey, Sarah, the assistant.
You didn't give me a chance. I think we're done. Fire is a question. Here we go. Coming in from the back.
On the jig, how far down do you want the assistant?
I would go 35% covering the upper part. Some people like to go 50, but take into consideration if you go 50, some of the hook was the jig. They will hang on the jig. You have to be careful with it.
Yeah.
And some of it, when you go short, you miss the bite. And this is what happened to us in North Carolina with cars. The jig was probably.
Why don't you show us how to tie
The jig was this size, and the hook was here, and he missed the bite.
Show us how to tie the Kevlar to the hook.
Come on, Doc.
That's
I will.
You can watch Raymond's video.
Come on, man. All right, it's very simple. You guys gonna laugh.
Also, the gap on the hook size.
Okay, hook size gap and the width of the jig. What you really want is to make sure the hook, the widest gap of the hook, is either wider than the widest gap of your jig, or slightly narrower so that you don't get hung up. Because if it's like about the same size, what happens is this is what's going to happen. It gets hung up. So you want your hook to be wider than the widest part of the jig, or narrower,
Smaller.
Yeah.
So it doesn't hang. If you want to customize it yourself, some of the stuff comes in as pre-made. I don't like to use it. I like to use my own to adjust it accordingly. This way I can put the skirt on it. So let's say, again, you got to take the measurement of the jig in general and cut it. So this is pre-cut. All what you do, you line them up, line them next to each other, make a loop. Let me put my glasses. Okay, now you have a loop on the bottom, right? It was double. Okay, and this is the hook. The point is down inside the loop. Close it. And this one goes in the eye. And you're good, that's it. As simple as that, that's it. And now, you take the part, on the bottom of the swivel. You run the line, you run it inside. There's a loop. You're good to go. So the line is not supposed to be hooked to the split rings at all. Okay? So now when you are hooked to the fish, the jig is completely free and the split ring is free. So you eliminated the weak point, which is the split ring. Now you're solid to solid. And you're using the right split ring, the right swivel. So on the death circuit, everything is gonna churn. You're not gonna have line pushes. But this is the perfect size, the perfect length.
Like half to 2/3 of the length of the jig.
Anybody want to see it?
If you were to put skirt that, how long would you leave that skirt?
I would use the smaller size skirt, the 3.5.
As long as they cover the hook.
Yeah, you want to cover the hook and entice.
And that's about it, and then trim it down?
But only if you drop them straight down.
Yes.
You can't
Yes.
quickly.
Yeah. Believe it or not, on the old day I used to use, when I used to target GT, I used to use hook that are made out like a teaser on the back. But I eliminated that.
How do you rig those F1s when you're casting?
The smallest, same way, but
Yeah.
I would say I would use,
But slightly smaller.
size 1 for the swim, and 80 pound to 100 pound. 80 pound would be ideal as a split ring. And you can use a single on the back if you want.
That's what I was wondering.
I know Gene does use the single on the back, and no problem, because those are wide through. You're not going to break the jig and lose the fish.
Okay.
Some of the jigs, they're not wide through. But those are wide through the F1, so no issue in having.
If you want to put a single,
I'm going to show you something.
yes, you can.
You can end up with something like that as a teaser as well on the back. It will work perfectly. You just run it the way I ran this, and this will be like it's
Just the one hook.
yeah, one hook. That's it. We don't want to have two hooks and one hook in the hand and one hook in the fish.
But you do rigging at the nose casting too.
How do you
Yes,
retrieve
yes,
that?
yeah, we do that as well. Yes, we do.
How do you retrieve that when you're on with it?
The F1,
Yeah, when casting it out.
Twitches. Just like how you walk the dog. Yeah, it's the same.
I mean, most of the guys that they're using the F1, if I'm not mistaken, they're using it for yellowfin, right? And yellowfin is all fast and furious. Is a different approach than the bluefin. Bluefin is more like lazy. I mean, they're aggressive sometimes, but they're not as aggressive as yellowfin. So, casting. No,
Yeah,
we will go faster
I
retrieval.
won't look fast for bluefins. No, not for bluefins. Cast it out, let it sink, and then that's about the speed I'll go for.
And the hook's tied up on top like you just did.
Yes,
Not on the
yes.
back, but not on the
Well, you can
do it
both.
both ways. Because again, this you're not dropping it all the way down.
You can
So
have
there's
it
no
this way.
risk of it getting snagged.
Right.
So you can actually put it at the back, or you can put it at the head. That's fine. Both ways, it's fine.
What's the ideal water temperature for bluefin?
That's a rough question for me to answer.
I want to say 58, 60,
What are we looking? We're looking here.
up to like
Here,
70.
here, and I'm not looking for giants. I'm looking for,
I think 58, 59 is as a start.
and not
But then
too
again,
low.
sometimes we get a temperature.
58, 59 is
I
okay.
think that's where you want to be.
But yeah,
So let's talk about the temperature break. So we see it on the satellite. How do you fish that break? What's
Okay.
the ideal way to fish?
I just want to point something to North Carolina, since we do fish a lot in North Carolina and the Gulf Stream, and we're right at the break between the cold water and the hot water.
Right.
Okay. There's a certain time and certain scenario those fish has been in the cold water, and they come into the hot water. They take the bite and they go back inside. They take the bite and they go inside. In the olden days when we start fishing for them in the beginning, that was the scenario. That we're right at the edge and we're casting to the hot water and we're getting the bite right at the edge between the hot water and the green water. And you can see it so clearly. It's right on the front of you. I mean, the steam is coming up from here and this is so cold. And if you go quarter mile or half a mile, and this has happened last week when we were there, we're in full weather gear, right, Bogey? Mm-hmm. And in another mile we're in t-shirt. That's how bad it goes.
It's a mile.
Yeah, almost.
I would say half a mile. Yeah.
But again, I think what they do, they come to the hot water, they feed, and they cool themselves.
Again, circle.
They're in and out. They're not all the time in the hot water, and they're not all the time. They're like us. We want to be comfortable.
So how do you approach that? You approach it from the cold side, drifting into the warm side.
You gotta give it a shot. You gotta try both ways. You gotta find the fish. That's why you gotta try this, and it doesn't work. Then you try the other one. And what they used to do in the beginning is, it was so hard because there wasn't too many boats going out targeting them and jigging and popping. So for us, it was hard. It was hard to find the fish. Yes. So what they did, they put up a spreader bar with no hooks on it, just trying to find the fish. Yeah. And once we locate the fish, they pull up, and then we set up drift in the area. So we know that the fish are here. We see them coming into the spreader bar. Now it's different because now you have like 20, 30 boats go in, and everybody communicates with each other, and it opens up a different diversity for them.
I found that sometimes if I've been catching 50-pound fish, there's 100-pound fish 10 miles away somewhere. And just because they're better thermal regulators, and they can, especially early in the year, there's been times where I've gotten right out to the ledge and been on fish immediately, and then it completely dies. And then steaming home, the water temperature goes down 8, 10 degrees, and you're 15 miles inside the shelf, and all of a sudden you see 100-pound fish jumping around. So they tend to do it.
Yeah, they do. They loop. Exactly. They take a loop. They loop around.
They seem to find the cold, especially early in the year. You always seem to find the cold side.
Generally, like colder waters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And this has happened a lot in the Cape. That looping. They feed in this area. They disappear, and another 12 hours or 14 hours, they're back again feeding in the same area. They feed. Normally, the scenario that happened is that this feeding frenzy happened. Half an hour, 45 minutes. And if that pass, I'm talking about the Cape, you lose your opportunity. It doesn't last for too long. You have days that it lasts, but I would say 80% of the time you encounter bluefin tuna in the Cape, it doesn't last for the whole day.
Yeah.
It's 30 minutes to 45 minutes.
Maybe an hour. Yeah, and then they're gone. Yeah.
It's the same thing as a restaurant that we eat at. Show up for breakfast.
Yeah, that's it. Breakfast open 8 to 10. We're done. Get out of here.
Find the bait, find the restaurant. Stick around long enough. Fish show up.
Anybody else?
Ready to go fishing?
Well, I'm glad that you guys came in, and I'm happy to meet you, new people. New faces, and hope we can slay it together this year. I mean, I'd like to see the community grow bigger and bigger, and I know most of the guys that I've seen today, talk to each other and cooperate with each other, and this is the best things that, this is what's all about actually, go to be on the water, having a good time, enjoying our time. And a little bit of catch and release, guys, so we can pass it to our kids.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, man. Thank you.
Thank you very much, guys.